Lord Shiva is telling us about the internal worship of the self. The external worship is the usual practice of self-realization. The internal worship is taking all of life experiences on board in this practice. Whatever the situation, everything is an opportunity. The Lord should be adored with the noble qualities of a pious heart, friendship, compassion, joy and indifference. These are 4 qualities, very important qualities, which are not just things which you have, but which are actively encouraged. The Buddhists call these the Brahma-viharas, which are the abode of Brahma. Friendship is Maitri, which is basically a universal and unconditional love. Compassion, Karuna, is being responsive to the suffering of others. Joy is Mudita, and this is sharing in the happiness of others. And indifference is really equanimity here. This is Upeksha, and this underpins the first 3. It's that equanimity which happens when the self is established in the self, when the attention is established in itself. The Lord should be worshipped with all kinds of pleasures that are granted to one unsought, whether those pleasures are sanctioned by the scriptures, etc., or forbidden by them. The Lord should be worshipped with those which are regarded as desirable, and others which are regarded as undesirable, with those that are considered appropriate, and others that are considered inappropriate. We've got this constant self-censoring going on. We like to present parts of ourselves to other people, different part to our spouse, or to our boss, or to our friends, or to our kids, or to our dog, and to ourselves. We present different images of ourselves to ourselves, and if we have some kind of spiritual interest, we like to think of ourselves as spiritual, but yet we might have some strong animal side. We might have some fetishes that we're caught up in, and somehow we make some kind of split between these different aspects of ourselves. We can't do that. We take everything on board. We can't parcel ourselves up. We can't kid ourselves about what we are. It all has to be acknowledged, offered up, if you like. For this worship, one should abandon what is lost, and one should accept and receive what has been obtained without effort. We don't bewail or bemoan the situation. And if we've got that tendency, then we take it into full awareness and offer it up to the Lord, which means using it as an opportunity for self-realization, for self-inquiry. The Lord continued, one should engage oneself in this worship at all times, established in supreme equanimity in regard to all the percepts, whether they be pleasant or unpleasant. One should regard everything as good and auspicious, or one should regard everything as a mixture of good and evil. Realizing that everything is the one self, one should worship the self in this spirit. So it doesn't matter if we regard everything as good and auspicious, or we regard it as a mixture of good and evil. It's still the self. One should look with equal vision upon that which is pleasant and beautiful through and through, and that which is unendurably unpleasant. Thus should one worship the self. One should abandon the divisive notions of this I am and this I am not, and realize that all this is indeed Brahman, the one indivisible and infinite consciousness. And if you've got a problem with some of the atrocious aspects of Brahman, well, this is something to look into. In that spirit, one should worship the self. At all times, in all forms and their modifications, one should worship the self in and through all that one obtains. One should worship the self after having abandoned the distinction between the desirable and the undesirable, or even while relying on such a distinction, but using them as the materials for the worship. If you view this as a philosophy, but practice some kind of inquiry, then whatever you find objectionable in this philosophy, use it as the subject of your inquiry. Without craving and without rejecting, that which is effortlessly and naturally obtained may be enjoyed. In other words, just enjoy what comes along. Don't go chasing after pleasures. But if something enjoyable comes along, enjoy it. Enjoy it without getting caught up in it and wanting more of it. That's the secret. Can you enjoy it and then just let it go? On a down to earth basis here, we've got all this ability to record things, and you can download things from the internet, not legally, but people download lots of songs, MP3s, and you can download movies and all the rest of it. You can buy DVDs and CDs if you like. When you hear some nice music, you want to own it. When you see a movie, you've seen a movie and you want to own it. How many times do you want to watch it? Maybe lots of times. But the thing is this idea that we can't just enjoy things and let it go. We've got to somehow keep them, own them. So this is quite a good practice actually. Being able to hear a wonderful piece of music without feeling that you have to find out what it is and to possess it. Being able to appreciate and enjoy things without feeling that you've got to possess them and own them is quite a big number, that one.